You know what time it is. You're listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the Urban Sports Team and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. It's the Washington Commanders pregame show. The Washington Commanders traveled up to Tampa to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm here with my co-hosts, Glenn and George. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, man, not so much, man. Just watching some of the NFL games ready for the Commanders. I heard it's hot down in Tampa and very exciting. So we're getting ready to see what the Commanders will do today.
George, what's going on? We here, George. The football season, bro. We here.
We're here, and we'll have my picks. I'm having a rough start with those picks, and I need Cincinnati to turn that around, or I'm going to be out of just about every eliminator pool I'm in.
You're into that eliminator pool thing, huh?
Yes.
He said, "Yeah."
And it ain't going well. It ain't going well. The Bengals have been terrible. They just cut it to 13-7.
Yeah, it just lets you know, man. The season is the season, man. Everybody expects some certain teams to be world beaters, and it is what it is. You got to play on the field, right?
The good news is Kirk Cousins is losing right now, and they're playing like doo-doo, and I'm enjoying that because that's on TV here. That's the game we got on before Tampa and Washington. It's Pittsburgh and Atlanta.
The hate is real. I respect that, though. Real quick, hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also, tweet us at ABG_Everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_Everything. And like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. All right, let's get to the rundown. We'll chat with Bowie TV's Commanders reporter Candi Waller. She's live at the game doing her reporting thing. We'll talk about our expectations for Jayden Daniels today. We'll also talk about the keys for Commanders victory. And then finally, we'll select our Commanders fantasy football selection for the day. All right, let's get right into it. Let's live. Let me introduce and put her in. Okay, here we go. We got it. All right, man, we got her live from Tampa in the building early. We got Miss Candi Waller. What's going on, Candi?
Hey, you all. Hello. I'm sitting in the AC. I'm sitting in that air.
AC?
There you go.
100 degrees out there. AC.
It's blazing here in Southwest Florida, so good.
It's really crazy.
So, Candi, real quick, man, what are some of the notable inactives and actives?
Notable inactive. I probably think I was not surprised by anything other than seeing Defoe, Derek Forrest is on the inactive list. That was the only one that surprised me. The others did not surprise me so much. So that means they're being very specific on how they're going to utilize the secondary. So that was my first sign. They are taking into consideration exactly how they want to use and utilize the secondary. So we'll see what happens. We know that's very important because of the receivers that the Bucs have. So this will be interesting.
Defoe, I'm surprised at that. Like I've been busy. I've been in church, coming back and forth. So now I'm back and settled. So Defoe's inactive. That is crazy. Okay, interesting.
Not unless something popped up with an injury. I don't think so. Okay. But I also do not know because I did not expect him to be inactive. Everybody else.
Percy Butler's active.
Yes. So that means they're leveraging Percy over Defoe.
Wow.
So, for this matchup is what I'll say.
Yeah. Go ahead, Glenn. You just going to say something?
No, I mean, it's time for guys like Percy Butler to step up. We've been looking for Percy Butler to be in the starting lineup for the last couple of years, ever since he's been drafted by Ron Rivera. You're looking for Percy to step up, and which better way to do it? Defoe's down. It's time for Percy to gain his worth on this football team, earn his worth. I mean, it is what it is. Next man up, and we'll see how Percy can do in the safety spot.
Yeah, I was also. I mean, we knew toward the end of last week, right, that the chances of Johnny Newton playing were basically close to zero. Probably midweek, top of the week, we were kind of like, yes, he's going to play. So very excited about that. So there's some things definitely going on with his injury. And now that the team has to report on injuries, we'll, get a little bit more into what's really going on there and what the expected timeline is for Johnny. So while I was not surprised that Johnny was on the inactive list since he was listed as doubtful in the final injury report on Friday, it's still kind of like, because, kind of wanted to see that action today.
Yeah, of course. I think everybody wanted to see Johnny because you want to see it. You want to see it. But Glenn,
Yeah. Hey, for what you seen out there, how does Jaden Daniels look? Does he look relaxed? Does he look, like normally did in preseason? I mean, how does he look out there?
Focused. Focused. I may have mentioned, I'm not sure if it was on this show or on my show, but I mentioned, when the team had joint practices against the Dolphins, I saw the team early that morning, and Jaden Daniels was focused.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like they just going to practice, but he was focused like it was game day. So he just looks like that. So I think he looks like how he normally does when he's getting ready to face an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
He, I'm sure they're nervous, and he's mentioned this before, right? Like he gets nervous, he gets butterflies, just like anybody else. But I think we'll see here in a couple minutes, right? An hour or so, if he's ready to rock.
Speaking of that, you said Dan Quinn has a lot of faith. Dan Quinn said we're gonna see something exciting today. He's really excited to see Jaden play. And does everybody else seem like they're excited to see Jaden play as well? The rest of the team.
Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury was literally like, "Hey, Jaden is a chill, laid back dude, but out there on that field, he is a different person, and he is. He is super chill, laid back, a lot of fun to be around." Super cool, building all the relationships with his teammates and just the staff overall. But when he is going up against opponent, he's a different cat. So everybody is ready to see Jaden play. Everybody. So you see, when everybody's kind of like excited, as well as the team, they think they got somebody special. They all think that. So they ready to ride out with him today, and we'll see what they have. I'm anxious to see how he makes decisions. I mean, it's still kind of nerve-wracking even for us. We're like, oh man, I hope he don't get hit. Like I don't want him to get hit. Don't get hit. But it's interesting. It's a little quiet. I think everybody's nervous, or just that we just don't know what to expect. I think we're all a little nervous, and it's a little tense.
Is Cliff excited because he's got some stuff he's been waiting to spring on everybody that he's going to spring on everybody today?
Yes, and I think they believe in Jaden just that. Like, this kid is good. Cliff, if we were having a best dress contest, Cliff Kingsbury wins it. He came in here like, he was ready to be creative today. So he was going to come in here and win a football game. So, everybody's focused, looking the part. We'll see if they play the part here shortly.
So, my man Cam had a question for you real quick. Cam, he says, is it raining in Florida?
No, it's not. But
Okay.
I think, Glenn was mentioning earlier, we keep looking at the map. And it looks like it's going to rain. We just don't know what's going to happen.
I think it's going to be all offshore.
Right.
Okay. And I'm going to put out there something Deluxe said. I think Owens got the nod over Defoe because Owens has been a demon on special teams.
I agree with
Owens
that.
too. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean,
I agree with that.
Yeah, he has been, the undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
Somebody we've been talking about for a long time that doesn't miss an opportunity. I mean, every single practice, every single rep, that kid is showing up and showing out, and he wants to be on Demon Time for sure. So that could absolutely be it as well.
George, you got a question for Candi?
Yeah, I'm just. When you look at at this game today, who do you think is going to have a big game for Washington? Who are you looking at saying, okay, they're primed to really produce something big today?
Brian Robinson Jr.
Okay, love it.
I'm gonna let them know that's my fantasy running back for the week, so I'm just go ahead. My
Brian
fantasy.
Robinson.
No, and mine in a few leagues too. So I was targeted quite a bit.
Brian Robinson Jr., Zach Ertz.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah,
and we're just gonna have to see what the secondary does. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not overly confident in the secondary, right? Not even. But if ever they wanted to quiet any doubters, today is their chance.
it's time to show out. Like they have to show out.
Today is their chance. I mean, hey, listen. I mean, it would be ridiculous to think, okay, nobody's going to catch the football, right?
Of course, yeah.
It would be ridiculous to think the Bucs aren't going to score any points. It would be absolutely ridiculous. These are professional football players. They're going to score. They're going to, you just don't want them to have a time on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to compete, and all of them, everybody. But at the same token, you want it to be a good game. You want Baker Mayfield to think twice about throwing it. Right now, he probably don't care about throwing it. As long as he can get it off, he gonna let it fly because he has receivers. So as the game goes on, I want to see them be like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Maybe we gotta rethink this. And so it's an opportunity. Every week is an opportunity. But I've been sharing this a lot this weekend, and especially this morning. I'm like, this game is the first day of the rest of this franchise. From new ownership, new GM, new head coach, new quarterback. I mean, all four happening at the same time. Because this is really the ownership's first year. This is really the first year right here. So for all four of these to be happening now, this sets the tone for how you want to be seen. For the it's week to week, but it's an opportunity nonetheless. So there's a ton of fans down here. Shout out to all of the Commanders fans that traveled. Oh my goodness, this is crazy.
Every time they come down here, I've been a bunch of times with my grandparents whenever Washington's down here. And I'm talking about when Washington's been terrible. Like in the mid 90s when they stunk, you'd still see tens of thousands of Redskins fans in those days populating the old Tampa Stadium. It's every time. Burgundy and gold shows up down here every time.
Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Focus. I think, and also my man Jonathan also added like Brian Robinson and Zach Ertz are my starters. It's fantasy football. Yeah, everybody's looking for it.
With Sam Cosmi getting this new deal this week, right?
Yeah.
Did they do enough on the O-line? Do you think? Do we do enough on the O-line? How does the O-line look? Cosmi got paid.
We'll see, because the reality is they haven't all played together, right? Because of health issues, and they're still going to rotate. So here's what I think. I think there's a strong possibility that they're going to adjust based on who their opponent is. It's not going to look the same all the time. I think in terms of have they done enough, I think solidifying Sam Cosmi means they are invested in protecting Jaden.
Yeah.
And Sam Cosmi fits the mold of what they want this organization to be and look like. But I mean, Andrew Wiley's still starting, so I mean, so we'll have to see. There'll still be questions around, whether Cornelius or Brandon, to see what they will be doing. And Dan Quinn already said they're going to rotate them.
I'm not a big fan of rotating offensive linemen. I think you need to build consistency with your offensive line. I think your offensive linemen need to have consistency. And when you rotate those guys, that's how you – in training camp, they need to rotate those guys. In training camp, you need to have a clear starter. Look at Baltimore, right? We always reference Baltimore when we on this show. But up the road, Baltimore had a competition for offensive linemen, and somebody won out, right? And I think that's what you do in the offseason. We didn't see Coleman that much in training camp. So,
I mean, he's legit, but I also want to say that Cliff Kingsbury, and I've mentioned this before, Cliff Kingsbury said something that the other day in his press conference of another reason why he thinks everybody's got their eyes on the Commanders, and it's because they have brought all these coaches in from across the league, right, to get this franchise where it needs to be. And there's some strong gamemanship here.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm with that. Yeah.
They could absolutely know who they're going to start. They could absolutely know they're not going to rotate them, but I'm going to tell you that I'm rotating them so you can plan for me accordingly.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And
now,
I
think to a degree they may, but they're not going to give a straight answer because technically they don't have to. So a lot of what we are going to experience covering this team and you are watching this team is the fact that you may not know what you're going to see until Sunday.
No, I agree. I agree, and it's something. And I know, Cam, you have to let you go soon because I know you're doing work over there. So we're not gonna hold you up over here. But in terms of what you've seen in terms of pregame or anything like that, do you get a good gist of like who's starting? I'm gonna just go for the wide receiver room, like the wide receiver situation, like who's starting. Could you get a gist of it, or it just looks like they're just warming up or whatnot?
I mean, I've always said it's Terry and then everybody else.
Yeah, got you.
So
Okay.
I mean, De'Ami will be out there, OZ will be out there, but it's not. One of those situations where it's like, okay, these are,
Yeah, I got you.
right. Not yet.
Wally just didn't want you to say McCaffrey. That's all. He just didn't want you
I
to
didn't say nobody's name. I didn't say anybody's name. I ain't say nobody's name. Don't put that smoke on me. Look, I'm being good. Like I just came from church. I feel the word. I feel the spirit. I'm not even on some negativity right now. give me till after this game is over. It may change. It may change.
Yeah.
My man Taj had a good point before I let you go. He says if they are rotating O linemen, that tells me that guys they want to lock down the starting role hasn't done so yet for whatever reason, play or injury. I'll answer.
Brandon Coleman had an injury. Brandon Coleman had an injury.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So that is part of it. There is an injury involved here because Brandon Coleman is just coming off injury. So yes, and there's a level of gamemanship happening here as well.
Yeah. Hey, Candi, thanks for being on. Before we let you go, how can folks catch your content? How can they catch Bowie TV? Just put it all out there.
So make sure for all the updates. I mean, I know everybody's watching on TV, and I will learn here soon what the real life game is versus what's being shown on TV, because sometimes it's a crazy delay and other times it's not that much of a delay at all. So make sure you're following me on X at SE. Make sure you're following Bowie TV Sports on X as well as Instagram, and make sure you are subscribed to Bowie_TV on YouTube.
Hey, Candi, thank you so much for stopping by, man. Enjoy it. Get some good interviews for yourself. Let's get those little snippets that nobody else can get. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see what happens in the game. I learned everything I need to know about this team.
Exactly. I know, right?
Because I'm like, I don't know how they react to losing. If they lose, I don't know how they react to winning. If they win, I don't know.
But just keep doing the great work that you do.
Show me the real you.
Ask those great questions.
Yes.
Show me the real you. So they can show the real you. They can show the real team after the game.
Yep. Yeah. All right. See y'all.
Right, thanks, Candi. Take it easy.
You're welcome.
Bye. Oh man, yeah.
Great stuff as always.
Great stuff as always. Defo inactive. Okay. 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 That's interesting to me. All right.
I think it's what the commenter said that Tyler Owens is so good on special teams. You can't leave him inactive.
It's true. He is good though. He is good.
Earlier
Defoe's good at special teams though. That's what's crazy. Defo wasn't when we got here that he was just a good special teams player. So it says a lot.
Yeah, but early on, a special team play is going to win the game and put a team in a good field position. So special teams is very important today for the Washington Commanders. Very special.
Definitely. So. Everyone wants to know about Jay. That's what they want to talk about. It's Jay Daniels, man. It's the new era, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start with you, George. What is your expectations for the rookie?
I think my expectations are for him to be solid and for him to have a couple of really good running plays to move the chains. Mm-hmm. And I think that's and I hate to say it, but it's probably true. There's probably going to be one turnover in there. Mm-hmm. It's tough to keep a clean sheet as a rookie quarterback. First start, you're up against a really tough front that's going to put him under pressure and probably hit him a few times. And even you look at what happened with Lamar the other night. Mm-hmm. He missed them passes at the end because he was beaten up. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to happen to a rookie. Caleb's had a tough start today, and people have been dragging him. And Bryce Young had his struggles last year, so. I'm hoping for a solid game. I'm expecting a couple of nice runs, but there's probably going to be a turnover, and I just don't want people to go crazy if he has a tough game to start. Because look, we all think Caleb's going to be the goods, and he's been struggling today.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're rookies, so that's typically happens. But it is what it is. Like for all rookies, if he has a great game, I'm expecting him to play well. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm expecting Jaden to play well. If he has a bad game, it won't change my thought process of him any which way. To be honest with you,
totally agree. With
Glenn, what is your expectations for Jaden?
I expect him to be consistent, right? And I just want to see consistency out of him. I want to see able to make checks and make some audibles a day, even freelance a little bit. You know, he's done that well in training in the offseason, in the preseason games. He's done that well, so I want to see him do that. But if they run the ball like they're supposed to, he will have to run as much.
Yeah.
And he won't have to have many issues. But I do think, like George, there'll probably be a turnover there, even though he's been really good by not turning the ball over. But this is the first time he's NFL competition. He'll see the ones of everybody for the first time, because when they played the Jets didn't have their ones. And when they played New England didn't have their ones. And I can't remember the other team that didn't have their ones now either. On the preseason. So he'll actually see ones all the way across the board here. And we know Tampa Bay has always been a tough defensive team. And so we'll see what he does today. And I'm interested to see how Cliff Kingsbury puts him in positions and situations to be successful. How many balls does he have to Zach Ertz or to the check down receivers, and how many he actually try to throw deep, and what receivers for the Commanders can, go deep.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with that.
Stretch the field.
Yeah, Caleb is finding out and run around 18 yards, backwards in the league, learning curve. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, dude, people gonna struggle. That's what happens. People gonna struggle. Rookies gonna struggle, man. It's not like I said. Everybody is not C.J. Stroud. Everybody's not Robert Griffin III. Everybody's not Andrew Luck. You don't go into this season just killing it. You know what I mean? You don't
even C.J. Stroud kind of had some games, especially preseason. I'm talking about last year in the regular season. Remember, they lost to Carolina in the regular season.
That's true. Yeah, so it doesn't. I don't. Again, and for this situation, it's not like a Caleb Williams show. For this situation, if he struggles, it won't bother me. Like, it won't change my mind.
I agree with that.
Just like anything, because I don't look at rookies like other people look at rookies. I look at rookies like you're supposed to struggle. Like, that's a thing. Like, you're supposed to struggle. When you don't struggle, then you're the unicorn. When you don't struggle off the rip, you're a unicorn. That's just what it is. Like, look how great Peyton Manning was as an all-time great. Peyton Manning's rookie year was horrible. He threw picks left and right.
Yep.
So it is what it is. But I expect, again, my expectations for Jaden is to play well. I do think that because of what Glenn's referred to, like the running game, I feel like utilizing Brian Robinson will help him out a lot. You know what I'm saying? To a point where I think he can do some things with even that, like with Brian Robinson's running well. Then you have Jaden's running ability. You know, that alone can kind of be a curveball for the Buccaneers defense, because then you're going to have to worry about the two. Is he going to give the ball to B-Rob, or is he going to talking about read option? Is he going to take that read and go with the run himself? So I do think that having B-Rob there as a threat will make life a little easier for Jaden. But also, it all depends on how Cliff Kingsbury calls the game, right? That's another thing too. So,
and not only B-Rob, you got Austin Eckler too. I forgot to throw him in there.
Yeah, Austin Eckler
as well. I forgot to throw Austin Eckler in there as well, coming out of the backfield. And I think I mentioned earlier Zach Ertz. Those two guys are really going to help him out and be consistent, with him and help him as much as possible. And defense is going to help too, depending on what field position they put him in.
Yeah,
right. Does he have to drive the length of the field? Do they give him a short fields and be successful in early? I'm interested to see how goal line stuff goes for him, because this team has not been really good in goal line in years past. So how did they use him in the goal line? We saw in preseason games where we saw the zone read a lot in the goal line. He was able to walk into the end zone. So those type of things. And I'm interested to see if will Jaden Daniels slide, right? Will he get out of bounds? Or will Jaden Daniels? Yeah, I'm being honest, man.
Everybody gassing up the slide thing. I get it. Like, I get it, because I think people are traumatized by Griffin, but like, this slide thing can happen.
You don't want to see your running quarterback. You don't see your quarterback unless it's Ben Roethlisberger or Steve McNair.
Yeah, I think he can get down. But yeah, I get it. No, I get it. Because it's wild. Growing up sliding was never really a crazy thing for me. Like, sliding was never a crazy thing, but it's becoming one. So I get it. I feel like people are very traumatized with Griffin. The slide thing, it didn't get sexy until Griffin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh, he can't slide. Now,
and even if you slide, you get these dirty defenders who are going to hit you anyway sometimes.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, so that's a thing too. So, but yeah, I'm with it. Like I think he's gonna have a good game. I have a lot of faith in what he can do today. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think Terry, from what I saw in camp, Terry's gonna be good. And the good thing about Jaden is he gets the ball out quick. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing too. I just think it's gonna be very interesting to see that. And I said this before. I think we'll get a lot to learn about Jaden against this game because Todd Bowles brings pressure. He blitzes. So I feel like if he plays well against Todd Bowles defense because of the pressure he's going to apply, I'm feel pretty confident about what Jaden's going to do throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, because it's like the potential, like, because he's going to be tested. Like, you know what I mean? Forget like coverages and being confused, but you know, when quarterbacks see pressure and they get hit all the time, then we get to get just to how they pan out. But it is what it is. George, Glenn, you got a question?
Yeah, man. Who do you guys want to see? And the guys in the chat, let us know as well. Who do y'all want to see on Mike Evans most of the time today? I know who I want to see on Mike Evans, and I want to take this.
Yeah,
I want to see Emmanuel Forbes.
Me too. I ain't gonna hold you.
I want to see Emmanuel Forbes on Mike Evans. I want to see has the young guy changed and develop, and has this coaching staff right. Have this new coaching staff help Emmanuel Forbes develop to be that corner. Why not put him against the best? I want to see. You know, I mean, get it out the way early and see where this young man stands. And not to mention, I got Mike Evans on my fantasy team too, so if it does go wrong,
no.
I'm just saying.
Wow, you dirty. I heard you dirty. You dirty. Wow,
man, it's like, what kind of humiliation fetish y'all got to put Forbes on Mike Evans? I don't want to see that.
I want to see him. I ain't gonna lie to you. I want to see.
I don't want to see that.
You know what? I feel like Forbes has been he should feel validated. You know what I mean? You know why? Because you see when AJ Brown did to Alexander, and Alexander's one of the best cornerbacks in football, and he did the same exact thing he did to Forbes. And
Alexander got his own back a few times though.
Look, and Forbes had a couple pass breaks in his game too, but he got it gets one-on-one with AJ Brown. It wasn't a good look. That's all I'm gonna say. It wasn't a good look. If I'm Emmanuel Forbes, I don't feel as bad. I'm just saying.
I'm thinking about we are going to have to help both of these corners for them to be able to survive. If we leave either one of these corners on an island, they're going to get cooked.
I mean, I'm joking around. None of them can check Mike Evans for real though.
Well, I mean, Chris Godwin. I'm not looking forward to because that's honestly the only reason I don't want to see Emmanuel Forbes is because I feel like that'd even be that. I mean, Forbes on Godwin's no picnic at the park. But if St. Juste is your best incumbent corner, then like it or not, he should be covering Evans. And I'm not saying I like it, but I'm saying that's what I would do.
I don't think St. Juste is better than Forbes. That's a whole different discussion. I don't even think St. Juste is better than Forbes. I'm not high on St. Juste.
Man, you know how much that hurts to hear that.
I am not. I'm not a St. Juste person. So anytime anybody tries to say, I'm like, St. Juste got beat just as bad, but no one talks about it.
No, it's true. That is true. And St. Juste does that dadgum celebration like he's done something when the ball's 15 yards away.
When he gets away, like the reason why he doesn't, I would even say this much. A lot of times he gets beat, he just does the pat, he just gives you the PI and he doesn't look as bad. He just gets the PI. Therefore,
that's true.
The way he needs to get beat. But he gets beat
100% true.
You know, so he gets beat a lot.
We all know this corner. We all know this corner. This corner group is terrible.
Probably, right? I'll give you that. He's a better matchup.
We hold our breath every week. I mean, just be honest. As a Commander fan or as a reporter, follow this team. You hold your breath every week when these guys are out there because they didn't upgrade the corners, and we just have to live with this group and hope the front guys get enough pressure, get sacks, or disrupt Baker Mayfield. Which, let's be honest, Baker Mayfield is not the best quarterback in the league, right? He's one of those guys that can get rattled. One of these guys who can throw multiple interceptions if he has pressure. He had a good season last year.
That's not saying we need this. I feel like there's a lot of Baker slander. Baker had a good couple years in Cleveland. He had then he has a couple bad years, and then he got a resurgence in Tampa. And he played with the Rams for a little bit. He was all right.
He got receivers that can catch football.
Huh?
He got receivers that can catch the football.
I mean, every good quarterback needs. That's what quarterbacks need.
He got receivers that catch football. When he wasn't doing well, he didn't have those type of guys that could.
Yeah, you're supposed to, and that makes sense. You're supposed to suck if you don't have receivers, unless you're Tom Brady or you're one of them. That's what I'm saying. Like when you don't have good receivers, you're supposed to suck. Unless you're one of them. Like if you one of them, yeah. Like Patrick Mahomes can make you look good. Like if you don't have one of if you're just a solid quarterback, you need one of them receivers. You need a dude.
Yeah.
Like George is talking about like Kirk Cousins was blessed with being in freaking Minnesota. He had Justin Jefferson.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And now he's coming off an injury, but he's struggling a little bit, right? It's not as sweet. It's not as sweet.
No.
You need one of them. That's what I'm saying. Although
he should be doing better with the weapons he's got in Atlanta.
No, I agree, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? But those receivers.
But he doesn't have a Justin Jefferson. You're right.
Justin Jefferson. Exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't have it.
And I'm not saying Kirk going to struggle. Kirk's going to probably play well towards the end. I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying
there's 4,000. He'll still get his 4,000 yards, his 40 touchdowns.
Yeah. Baker gives you 4,000, 3,000 yards in today's NFL.
The big thing with Baker is he's going to put the ball in danger.
I agree.
And we got to take advantage of that when it happens.
I agree with that. Right. But you got to be good enough. But the thing also, to Glenn's point, you got to, and I guess it goes to what are our keys to a victory.
Yeah.
You gotta put pressure on Baker. This line has to produce. You talk about the front seven.
Mm-hmm.
The front seven isn't a given other than the interior. And I said this before, it's hard for the interior to always get constant pressure. You can give it. It's hard for it. When you think about pressure out of your front four, what do you think? You think about your defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
These defensive ends aren't, to me, they're not wild guys. They're more grunt guys. So there is a chance they get no pressure. They're not one of those dudes. They're not like a top end defensive end. So if they're not getting pressure, that can be a long day for Washington. To me, I agree with it. Baker has to be hitting the ground consistently. If Baker's not hitting the ground consistently, it's going to be a long day for Washington, especially when you talk about these wide receivers and the cornerbacks that we have. It's going to be a long day. So Baker has to feel pressure. If it's not working with the front four, they're going to have to find ways Joe Witt's going to have to find ways to generate pressure, you know what I mean, and confuse Baker. But just alone with the front four, I don't see them being I feel like the interior is going to do well. I feel like, I feel like Payne and Allen
are going to do well. They ain't play all.
No, but I know they're going to. But you can't. But when you're interior dude, there's so much pressure you could put on from the interior. The dudes that really create havoc consistently are your ends. You know what I'm saying? So Baker got to feel them. Those dudes got to step up. Them ends are the key to me.
See, I agree with Michael. Michael said something that I agree with. I was about to say it, Mike. Man, you read my mind. Bobby Wagner and them guys got to be able to get help. And
I agree.
Bobby Wagner should need a good day today. Those type of guys are in the middle. Need to have a great day because again, Washington didn't have linebacker play last year, right? The front four might have was able to did what they were supposed to do. But you had Mayo back there. You had guys that wasn't top level linebackers. Now
Cody Barton, you got to put that name out there.
Cody Barton, sorry, and Cody Barton and Mayo back there. And so now you have linebackers who's able to get some things done with Bobby Wagner and Louvu and all those guys. So we'll see how that goes.
No, I'm with it. I'm just that's my thing. I feel like the defensive line got to what you're talking about, Glenn. I totally agree with you. That the defensive line got to step up. And Bobby Wagner having those linebackers, Louvu. I think Bobby Wagner's gonna do a great job. I think Louvu more than anything because he is a guy who can get to the quarterback. I want to see him have a good game. I want to see Dante. Look, man, Dante Fowler, you are Coach Quinn's guy. You're his guy.
Yeah, that's right.
I need to see you produce. I want to know that you weren't just a Quinn guy. You're a guy who deservingly should have a roster spot on this team. That's what I want to see from Dante Fowler.
I'm interested to see the Jamin Davis experiment today too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see how they use Jamin
Davis. If he plays like that.
I'm sure they can give him a couple of series. You probably see him on third down, third and long, third and medium, situations where he can get opportunity to pass rush, right? Yeah. And so I'm interested to see because that's what he's been working on, right? He wasn't working with Kerrigan and all those guys and Daryl tapping them for no reason. He was working so he can get a pass rush. And so in those situations, he should be in to get a pass rush. So I'm gonna be looking for those, and we'll talk about it on the post game how Jamin Davis did. Yeah, but I'm looking for Jamin Davis to be exciting, right? To be able to develop. They kept you on this team and all that. Let's see what happens and see how you grew as a player.
Folks listening in. What are your keys to a Commanders victory? I think I saw Paul. I saw one from Paul. I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah. But any of y'all who have your own, just put it in the chat. What are your keys for Commander victory? Here you go. Paul's key for a Commander's victory. Pressure Mayfield. Totally agree with you, Paul. We talked about that. Run the football effectively. So we talked about that too. Limit Tampa Bay's big plays. Obviously, that's the thing. Yeah, Paul, that's a great one right there. That last one, that's hard one. Last season, this team gave up nothing but big plays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
right.
Like we need to. That's one thing we need to make sure to see this defense not have those miscommunications on deep plays. Let's limit the explosive plays, and also real talk. Get off on 3rd and long, man. That's one thing. Get out on 3rd and long, man. Get out on 3rd and long, man. Just be efficient.
It felt like when Tampa was playing well, they got a lot of big plays too. That not to say that they're over relying on them, but I thought that they did rely on a lot of explosive plays, 30 and 40-yard plays because they weren't a really good running team. So consistently, chunking it down the field and getting 10 and 12 and 15 play drives was not really their thing last year. So the big plays, I think Paul's point is that could even be number one for me.
I think
and it's like you said, we did nothing but give up explosive plays last year, all over the place. So that's going to be something to watch. Is is Tampa getting down there in 3, 4, and 5 plays? Because they did that quite a bit last year when they got rolling in the second half of the season.
Yeah, man, Paul, that's a good one, man.
And plus, this is why think about this: Washington's first time on the road at opening up on the road since 2019 as well. Anyway, and and they're not. You talking about Tampa Bay? They beat Tampa Bay the last time they played, but they 5-6 on the road. They're 5-6 against Tampa Bay in the last 11 games. So it's like you're looking for this team to turn the corner here. That's something what Candi said earlier. While I'm going there, it's different excitement. You can feel it in the air. This is, I know Harrison was in control last year, but this is their team now, right?
This is their real team. No, it wasn't. This is their team for real.
This was their team. This is their team. So
this is year one.
Year one, you get to see the character of Quinn. You get to see what Witt and those coaches, Anthony Lynn and all those guys, the attitude, right? You know me, I'm always talking about it. I always look for the first series, right? If they're on defense, do they get a stop? Remember, this team gave up a lot of touchdowns last year on the first series.
Yes.
Right? They gave up touchdowns on the first, scoring points, touchdowns and scoring drives, except for 2 teams, right? Arizona and I forgot the other team last year. This team also didn't score until like week 8 or week 9 on the first series, right? So this team comes out because underneath Ron Rivera, the thing was this team always comes out flat. This team comes out flat. Let's see how they come out today, and I think that's a big key to victory as well. The energy and excitement this team has as they come out, especially with all the crowd, all the fans that people say are in Tampa right now with the burgundy and gold. This should feel like a home game a little bit much more than
definitely a lot of home folks in there. I mean, something Mike said, Mike's stupid. Well, your boy with the interview with his shirt off, guys, those tight ends too. Yeah, if he's gonna play, if Jamin is playing. If Jamin is playing linebacker, he may not be playing linebacker though, so he wouldn't have to do it.
No, he'd be playing defensive end, I think. And to your point, Glenn, I'm interested to see if we start with the ball, what do you bet we take a deep shot like right away? Because I could sort of see Cliff Kingsbury doing that to try to put a jolt into everything. Maybe a long one to De'Ami Brown, first or second play of the game. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I can see it happen, but I think he's gonna hit. I think he's Wally's boy Luke McCaffrey, man. I think we see heavy Luke. I think we'll see heavy Luke and heavy Zach Ertz today, man.
You trying to lead Wole down the dark path. Wole's coming out of church and he's sweetness and light and positivity, and you just trying.
I got out of church earlier than he did. I'm sorry, I don't want mine to wear off. I don't want mine to wear off.
When you said that, I'm looking at my phone. I'm not even like. As soon as you said that, I look down at my phone. I was like, I said, okay, so we want smoke today. I got you. Hey, Paul. Noah Brown's inactive, bro. No Noah Brown. See, yeah, no Noah Brown today. He's inactive.
Yeah, I was hoping we were going to see Noah Brown. I think we just got a Kirk Cousins interception.
Late in the game.
Real, George. Good guy. All right.
No, the hate is real, and it's not because of Kirk. It's because of the media in town. It's because the media in town.
I used to be deemed a Kirk Cousins hater, but you were bigger than.
No. I will take that crown from anybody because it's not really directed at him. You know who it's directed at, and they deserve it too.
Yeah, but you know what's bad about that is Pittsburgh should get the win. And that means you might see less of Russell Wilson and just.
I'm happy about that.
Justin Fields did not play bad today.
No, Fields has done a good job today. They just haven't been able to punch it in the end zone, or they'd have won this game easy.
Yeah, just don't punch it in the end zone.
He's better than. No, I'm not gonna go there. Hey, my man,
and Michael Underwood, you're absolutely right to get it back on topic.
Yeah.
This team hasn't turned anybody over. It feels like they haven't turned anybody over since Ron's first year. So this team's got to turn people over. Let's help Jaden. Let's help the rookie out by giving him the ball at midfield once in a while, or in plus territory once in a while.
That's why I said earlier, if his defense can give Jaden Daniels and his offense some short fields.
Yeah, absolutely.
Special teams can do something like Jamison Crowder and Zacchaeus, who's also returning kicks. If they can get them.
This is for Ray. He did this for Ray.
Yeah, too bad.
We could be okay, man. The Washington Commanders can be okay, but defensively, again, I agree with Wole. I need to see Baker Mayfield hit the ground, hit the dirt a couple times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Folks listening in, any more keys for victory? You know, what I mean, we're getting close to game time. Well, game time's 4:25 for real. But,
yeah. Getting close to wrapping this one up.
I know. Third down stops by the defense. I agree. I think on third down, they gotta get stopped. I said this earlier. They gotta get stopped. Like we were traumatized, like from like the prior regime, right? They would be third and long, and they would get a first down. Like we got to get off the field on third down. I think that's essential. Like we'll know this defense is improved. We get off on third downs. We limit explosive plays. Like. You're going to give some explosive plays depending on who you're playing. I'm not going to say like you're just going to shut down all explosive plays. You're going to give up some explosive plays, but just don't have them things coming out like this old school Madden football. Like we don't need them type of explosive plays. No, like and those and also like getting pressure. Well, no, we're getting better doing that way. Not getting pressure on the quarterback because that's what it is. But getting off on third down and getting turnovers. That's a big thing for me. Like George mentioned, getting turnovers. Like really being a team that can help the rookie quarterback out. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Caleb. The Bears they've come back, and Caleb is playing like trash, and they're like he has a chance to win the game because that's again their defense helped them out. And Will Levis as well. But still, like make life easy for your rookie quarterback where he doesn't feel like he has to be Superman. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, football is a team game. We like to give the quarterbacks all the flowers, but it's a team game. Like make Caleb Williams' life. Make Jaden Daniels' life easy, you know what I mean? And if you can do that, I feel like this could be a good thing for Washington because I feel like this game could set the tone. I want to get this to how many of y'all getting 2012 vibes? Is any of y'all getting 2012 vibes? I'm gonna start with you. Are you getting 2012 vibes?
No, because honestly, that was such a fluky year in the sense that you had it's Shanahan who'd been coached all over the place and 2 Super Bowl wins and all that. We were just in a weird place because I think by 2012 we were starting to get sick of the owner. We were starting to see that things were starting to set in that weren't good. And I mean, we all believed in Robert. Don't anybody write the revisionist history on that. We were all excited for Robert.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
But it's not 2012 for me because in the previous year, I mean, we always could talk ourselves in the previous years, even when this team was terrible, into, we're going to be good. And now I think for the first time, people understand that this is a rebuild. And I'm going to go back to what Josh Harris said in that he was at some forum and he said, you can make your shortcuts and get to 8-8 or 8-9 real easy. But if you want to be consistently good, you got to go through the process. He didn't say trust the process, but he kind of did. And I think most fans are in that spot. I have to give people credit, at least in terms of what I've seen on YouTube and other social media, other places. There ain't a lot of fans getting carried away talking about 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins. We're going to win the division. We're going to do this. No, that's not. And that happened all the time, even when we were terrible around the time Robert came. So, and that's the thing. It was the number 2 pick, but we didn't have to trade up for it. And honestly, I think that's what kind of fed the mania is that we gave up all this to get Robert Griffin. So we're like, not only are we drafting him at 2, but we're drafting at 2 after making this big trade. So we are totally 100 million% invested, and he's going to be great. And we know he's going to be great. It's not the same, and I'm glad it's not the same because the other thing I want to point out about Jaden Daniels is look at all the adversity he had in college, because it wasn't all roses and pearls at Arizona State for 4 years.
No.
And he came through that, transferred to LSU, and then had the second greatest season by a quarterback in the history of that university, which has been playing football for over a century. So that shows you, if he has a couple of tough series or he makes a mistake and has a turnover or whatever, Jayden Daniels is the kind of guy that can overcome that. So that's the thing I'm kind of looking for. That's the interesting thing too, is that I think we're going to see today is when Jayden Daniels faces some adversity, how's he going to handle it? And in my prediction, he's going to handle it fine. That he's ready for it because he's already faced a lot of it.
George, this is for you. George, this is for you real quick. There's a question I want to read this. Like, George, this is for you. What do you think about this?
Deluxe is 100% spot on. In a lot of ways, it was a mirage because also the read option was kind of a new thing. And Kyle, to his credit, hardly anybody ran it better than the way Kyle ran it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And the way that 7-game winning streak came together, the big run by Robert against Minnesota, winning the game in Tampa at the buzzer with the field goal. There were a lot of games that could have gone the other way. I think they beat the Giants by 1 point. In that stretch down the line, and even the Dallas game was close until the end, and that was Alfred Morris, going crazy and setting the franchise record, and it was great at the time, and we all enjoyed it. But it was smoke and mirrors. It was a mirage. There's no question about that. I think it was Deluxe that had the comment. Yeah, I think he's 100% spot on about that. There is a lot more substance to what's going to happen here, especially if it's good.
Only thing that makes this thing feel like 2012 is the fact that we have a GM that everybody likes. Back then, we had Bruce Allen. Back then, everybody trusted Bruce Allen to make
at that time they did. You know what? You're right.
At that time they did. You're absolutely right.
At that time, everybody trusted Bruce Allen to make the right decision. And at this time, everybody trusts the GM.
I had to think about that when you said it. I was like, but you're right, though. They did. Everybody loved
Glenn's absolutely right. Because remember the context. He's come in 2010 after Serrato, which that was a disaster. And he's come in having been in Tampa with John Gruden when they won the Super Bowl, having been in Oakland when they were successful.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's right, because that's like folks were loving Ron Rivera too when he got signed, when he got hired initially.
Same thing.
It's crazy. I'm about to stop loving people real quick.
His other comparison, You're coming from a quarterback who people didn't like, Rex Grossman. Remember, Rex Grossman was a starter in 2011.
That's right.
Yeah, Sam Howell, 2023, and then now you're coming to a quarterback who's the number 2 overall pick that people think can be special and successful. Those, to me, are the only 2 comparisons. Was one Rex Grossman, and now going from Rex Grossman to RG3, and going from Sam Howell now to Jayden Daniels. Those are, and like I said, and then Bruce Allen. But other than that,
I think that's absolutely right.
Yeah. Other than that, no. And some of you guys probably wasn't even around in 2011 that's watching us. So
12, 11. Yeah, y'all probably weren't. Or y'all weren't watching them like that for real. Some of y'all really weren't watching them like that for real. If you were, I don't know how young some of y'all are. I feel old now. When you said that, you make me feel old. I don't know why you said that, because I didn't think about that. Like, some of them may not be around.
Some of y'all weren't around when they won the Super Bowl the last time. Like I was.
13. They be 13. Damn. Some of y'all may not have been around. That sucks for me. Dang, I just aged me real quick. That's what's up.
I say this: Justin Fields is earning his job for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry.
That's good, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Because Russ sucks. I'm sorry, I said it. Russ sucks now. Just he does.
I hate it because of his ties to the Richmond area. Because he was a high school star in Richmond.
He's in the
Richmond area.
I like Russ a lot. I used to like Russ a lot.
I mean, but that is the NFL. When you fall off a little, sometimes it's not a little; it's a cliff. It's like.
Yeah. It is, but any more? I think somebody. Mike had a comment about a key. He said offense got to get better in the red zone and get the first down on 3rd and 4, and don't throw it 18. Yes, they say more than out of me.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
Mike. I don't know where Lake's at. That's the other show. We're not. Stop trying to get. You've been looking for Lake. I know, bro. Because Lake is a Jahan Dotson dude. I know, Mike. That's the other show. Look, man, stop.
Man, I'll tell you, I am worried about Lake and all the other Penn State fans. Could you see them yesterday? They almost lost. They probably should have lost.
Yeah.
The Bowling Green, it was touch and go for a while.
Man, I'm a Michigan fan. I don't want to talk about college football. Deluxe said, I never trusted Mike Shanahan. His staff was good, but never wanted Mike as a coach. I was not a big. I didn't. Deluxe. I'll say that. I agree with you. I didn't trust Shanahan myself. He seemed like a snake. But his staff.
No, yes, 100%. Total viper.
I may be the minority. But I may be the minority, but I didn't like how he initially treated Albert Hansworth. But initially, I thought he was doing a little bit too much. Initially, I think after it played out how it played out, but in the beginning, I don't know if people remember. In the beginning, he was over the top. Yeah, you're right, but that's a long conversation. It is. All right, well, I think if y'all don't have any comments about which Wizard keys.
Oh, let's do predictions for the game.
Predictions. I'm sorry, predictions. I'm geeking. Predictions. So my prediction, I think I have it out there. I think I'll have it 20. I'm gonna say 24-23 Washington. Jaden throws 2 touchdowns, runs for a touchdown. He throws for 300 yards.
Glenn?
I got my prediction is 24-17. 24-17. I'm gonna go with Washington. Going here. I was going back and forth, but I do think this regime is gonna get a win today. All right. It won't be. I think they get a win today. I'm gonna say that now. I do 24-23. I think the MVP of the game actually is not Jaden Daniels. I really think it's gonna be Brian Robinson Jr. I think Jaden Daniels has a great game. Mm-hmm. I give him 222 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I'll be the skunk at the garden party. I have 31-24 Tampa.
That's fair.
I just don't think I think our secondary is going to get roasted, and I just don't think that we're going to get enough stops because of that. Because I don't buy these corners, and honestly, I think we're going to be when we reconvene after the game. Mm-hmm. We're probably going to be saying Mikey Sanders still is the best corner on this team by a long way, and it's not even close.
He is, though. I mean, that's not even.
He is, but I think we're going to have tape and evident tape that absolutely cinches that it's the case.
My man Paul said, as you all can see, 27-17 Washington. My man Mike, 28-24 Washington. Deluxe said, Commanders going to 1-0 is my only prediction. Make the plays when they're there to make. I agree. They need to do that. You know what I mean? This could be a special game, or it could be a funny post game at the end of the day. All right, like our let's do our little spiel. Who is your Washington Commanders fantasy player of the day? Like, who's the guy that's gonna get busy?
Mine's Brian Robinson Jr. I said it. I've been talking about him since earlier. I think he has a great game today with his offensive line. I think Brian Robinson gets over 100 yards, scores a touchdown, and receives the ball well out of the backfield. I think he looked well in the preseason, and I think if they want to be successful, as I always say each and every week, run the football.
Yeah. George, who is your guy?
Brian Robinson is a great choice, but since that's already taken, I am going to go a little bit maybe left field, and I'm going to say Diami Brown.
That's a good one.
Diami Brown gets I think if Washington wins, a big Diami Brown, I'm talking about a 50-yard plus play is going to happen out of him.
Yeah, I had to stay consistent to what my theme was, because Glenn took the one I was going to take as well. But this is going to be my second dude, because I seen him in camp. He was getting busy. My man Mike had it right here. Mike had Zach Ertz. I think Ertz is going to get busy.
A good one.
Ertz is going he is my pick as well. I just think that him and Jaden have great chemistry. Just like you said, George. I think Diami and Jaden have great chemistry. That's what you saw in preseason. Is what was going on in camp, and also in terms of Zach Ertz, he has great chemistry with Zach Ertz. In terms of other questions on the show, in terms of what on X, my man Jerome Coleman. In terms of Jaden Daniels, what his expectations for Jaden Daniels will be today. He says 2 touchdowns, 200 yards in the air, 50 yards on the ground, 1 interception.
I'm about where he's at with that. I think that's a pretty good projection.
I think that's fair. I don't think that it's my man Jeremy said I expect him to have on X's. I expect him to have some very rookie moments. He might make 3 to 4 plays with his running and scrambling ability. So, my man, Big Simple 422 on X said 250 yards, 3 touchdowns.
That'd be lovely. By the way, can we thank the Steelers and the Falcons for getting done so we didn't have to worry about a game running over and us missing the start of the game?
That's
Thank
cool.
you.
Game's at 425, right?
Thank
the
you.
first time was 425, right?
Yeah, it is, but you never know. You never know. You get a week one overtime and things could get screwy. So thank you.
How much
Thank you, Pittsburgh and Atlanta.
What's Justin Fields' stat line? He killed like that?
I mean, he wasn't. It was kind of average, like 160 yards, I think, passing, something like that.
Okay.
No touchdowns, no picks. I think he ran for like 30 yards. Funny thing is, he wasn't that far off what Cousins did, except Cousins, had a pick and I think had a fumble. They could not block TJ Watt. Oh my God. TJ Watt was literally on Cousins' back every play, it felt like, at least when I was watching.
He's an animal, that's why. Damn, darn it, my man ain't getting busy. My man Marvin Harrison, ruining my Marvin.
I already had a big drop. I already had a huge drop in that game.
Marvin had a drop? Marvin don't drop.
Yeah, he had a big drop in that game. I was seeing it on X when I was getting back from visiting
that's my
with some family in town.
You had a drop. Sucks, man. Look, man, that's me rooting for an Ohio State kid. Crazy, right? That's life. That's life. It's crazy. All right, well, y'all, man, thanks for tuning in, man. As Glenn mentioned earlier, man, don't forget to tune in to our post-game show directly after the game. We'll be on YouTube, IG, and Facebook Live. We'll also be streaming on the Urban Sports CX account as well. So make sure y'all stay up for that show. We gonna have a good time. Hopefully, we're not like venting. You know what I mean? I want to have a good little party. We're just like talking, having a good time. We all on a different level. We talking about the Commanders going to the Super Bowl. I want that type of vibe. I want that. Wow.
Too early for Super Bowl talk.
No, don't be doing that now.
Undefeated. I want to be like folks say, hey, we're going undefeated. I want that.
No.
Real story, real talk. I used to be that person.
Don't be getting all. No, I used to be that person too, but we don't need to be getting all fruity like that now. Let's just try to be sensible and keep a little bit of a lid on it.
Man,
now, if this team goes 3-0 and beats the Bengals, granted the Bengals lost today,
man, the Bengals
then the lid might be off. The lid might be off.
The Bengals are lost anymore. I don't.
If you're not sure, Caleb Williams got his win today too. So
yeah, I mean he didn't play good. That's a team win. But if this team blows this, if they blow out Tampa, I'm gonna be that person again.
Oh,
hey Paul, I'm that person. You are that person. I feel you. If they blow out Tampa, I'm gonna be that person.
Hey,
don't do that to yourself.
I no high highs, no low lows. You gotta be consistent with this team.
Look, no, I'm gonna be that person. I need to be that person.
All right. Glenn and I are gonna have to try to keep everybody on planet Earth here.
If they win at 40-17, y'all gonna be like, damn. When you been that person? I'm like, yeah, I'm that person now.
Man, don't let the head go up to the clouds. Keep that feet on solid ground, mister.
Look. When 2012 happened, you couldn't tell me nothing after the Saints game. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing. So if he comes out looking like 2012 against the Saints in New Orleans, you can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. A shout out to Chicago Bears defense, man. Y'all to run repeats for my fantasy football team.
And special teams. They blocked a punt for a touchdown. That's what turned that game around.
Y'all had me beating this little jabroni. I'm killing now. Y'all run repeats, man. Shout out to
By the way, if Miami makes this field goal and wins, Jacksonville fumbled the bag today. Seriously. They quite literally had a guy running into the end zone for a touchdown, and he fumbled it. They're up 17-7, and the guy looks like he's running in for the end zone for a touchdown, and he fumbled it. ATN fumbled it like
I got my fantasy team. He's supposed to get money.
He fumbled that thing at the 2-yard line. They were about to be up 24-7. And if Miami makes this field goal, they're lining up to go for the win for Jacksonville. Fumbled the damn bag today, big time.
And Tyreek Hill got a ticket for reckless driving and got out and released it.
They be hating.
And he put 23 up for me on my fantasy team.
No, that was ludicrous. They had him face down on the pavement. What is that? Seriously? I mean, come on.
Anyway, y'all, thanks for y'all. Before I end the show, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search all Burgundy and Gold Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_Everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_Everything. And like our All Burgundy and Gold Everything Facebook page. Again, if you're first time If you are on our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel, hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. All right, man. Like Glenn, we said earlier, we'll be back for the post-game show, so make sure you check in. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. We are out.